Victory begins inside. Victory is often imagined as a moment of celebration, a trophy raised in the air, a finish line crossed after a long race, a dream job finally achieved, a business becoming successful. But what many people do not see is that victory rarely begins in those visible moments. The real beginning of victory happens much earlier, quietly and invisibly. Victory begins inside the mind, inside the heart, inside the belief that something greater is possible. Before any success appears in the world, it must first be born within a person. The invisible battlefield. Every human being fights battles that others cannot see. These battles are not fought with weapons, they are fought with thoughts. The battlefield is the mind. Every day, people face inner voices that say, "You are not good enough. You cannot succeed. You are too late. Others are better than you." These voices can be powerful. They can create doubt, fear, and hesitation. And many dreams are lost not because people lacked ability, but because they lost the battle inside their own mind. That is why victory must begin within. When a person learns to control their thoughts, they begin to control their destiny. Belief, the first step toward victory. Before a mountain climber reaches the top, they must believe the climb is possible. Before an athlete wins a championship, they must believe they can win. Before an entrepreneur builds a successful company, they must believe their idea matters. Belief is the seed of victory. Without belief, action becomes weak. With belief, even small actions become powerful. History is full of people who achieved great things because they believed in themselves before anyone else did. They did not wait for approval. They did not wait for perfect conditions. They started with belief, and that belief slowly transformed into victory. The power of mindset. Your mindset determines how you interpret the world. Two people can face the same problem but react completely differently. One person sees an obstacle, another sees an opportunity. One person sees failure, another sees a lesson. This difference in mindset is often the difference between defeat and success. A growth mindset understands that mistakes are not the end. Mistakes are teachers. They show us where we need to grow. People who win in life are not people who never fail. They are people who refuse to let failure define them. Instead, they allow failure to refine them. Self-discipline, winning the war within. Victory inside also requires discipline. Motivation can start the journey, but discipline continues it. There will be days when you feel tired, days when you feel discouraged, days when you feel like giving up. These are the moments that reveal who you truly are. Discipline means doing what must be done even when you do not feel like doing it. It means staying focused when distractions appear. It means choosing long-term success over short-term comfort. Every time you keep going when it is difficult, you win a small victory inside yourself. And these small victories slowly build a powerful character. Overcoming fear. Fear is one of the greatest enemies of inner victory. Fear tells us to stay safe. Fear tells us to avoid risk. Fear tells us to remain where we are. But growth never happens inside comfort zones. Every great achievement requires stepping into uncertainty. The first speech may feel terrifying. The first business attempt may feel risky. The first creative project may feel vulnerable. But courage does not mean the absence of fear. Courage means moving forward despite fear. Each time you face fear, it becomes smaller. Each time you act with courage, your inner victory grows stronger. The role of persistence. Success rarely happens overnight. Behind every visible victory are countless hours of effort, failure, learning, and persistence. Many people give up too early. They try once and stop. They fail twice and quit. They encounter obstacles and retreat. But persistence transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Persistence says, I will try again. Persistence says, I will learn from this. Persistence says, this is not the end of my story. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is often just one thing. They kept going. Controlling your inner dialogue. The way you talk to yourself matters more than you might realize. Your inner dialogue shapes your confidence, your energy, and your actions. If your inner voice constantly criticizes you, your confidence weakens. But if your inner voice encourages you, your strength increases. Replace thoughts like, I can't do this, with thoughts like, I will learn how to do this. Replace I always fail with I am improving every day. Positive self-talk is not about pretending problems do not exist. It is about reminding yourself that you have the strength to overcome them. Vision. Seeing victory before it happens. Many successful people share one powerful habit. They visualize success before it becomes reality. They see the future they want to create. Athletes imagine winning the race. Artists imagine the masterpiece before painting it. Entrepreneurs imagine the company before building it. Vision creates direction. Without vision, effort becomes scattered. With vision, effort becomes focused. When you clearly see where you want to go, your mind begins to guide your actions toward that destination. Gratitude and inner strength. Another powerful force behind inner victory is gratitude. Gratitude shifts your attention from what is missing to what is already present. When you focus only on problems, life feels heavy. When you focus on blessings, life feels meaningful. Gratitude does not ignore challenges. Instead, it provides the strength to face them. It reminds us that even during difficult times, there is always something worth appreciating. And this appreciation fuels resilience. Surrounding yourself with the right influence. Your environment plays a powerful role in shaping your mindset. If you constantly hear negativity, doubt can grow. But if you surround yourself with positive influence, encouragement grows. This does not always mean changing people. Sometimes it means choosing better content to consume. Books, podcasts, inspirational stories, motivational messages. The voices you allow into your mind shape your thinking. Choose voices that strengthen your inner victory. The quiet moments of growth. Many people think success happens during big moments, but true growth often happens in quiet moments. The early mornings when no one else is awake. The late nights when others have stopped working. The days when progress feels slow. These moments are not glamorous, but they are powerful. They are the moments when character is built. They are the moments when inner victory is formed. And eventually, the world sees the results. Victory is a journey. Victory is not a single moment. It is a journey of growth. Each challenge you overcome strengthens you. Each lesson you learn prepares you for greater opportunities. Each day you improve yourself moves you closer to your goals. The person you become during the journey is often more valuable than the achievement itself. Because once you develop the mindset of victory, you can succeed again and again. The story of David. In a small town surrounded by quiet streets and simple homes, there lived a young man named David. David was not famous. He was not rich, and he was not considered extraordinary by the people around him. In fact, many people believed David would live an ordinary life. He worked at a small store during the day, arranging shelves and helping customers. The job paid just enough for him to survive, but not enough for him to build the life he dreamed of. But deep inside David's heart, there was a quiet dream. He wanted to become successful. He wanted to build something meaningful. He wanted to prove that he was capable of more. However, the world around him constantly whispered the opposite. Success is only for lucky people. You don't have the connections. You should be realistic. Over time, those voices started to echo inside David's mind, and slowly, doubt began to grow. One evening, after a long day at work, David walked home feeling exhausted. The sky was turning orange as the sun slowly disappeared behind the buildings. People were rushing home, laughing with friends, enjoying their lives. But David felt different. He sat alone on a wooden bench in a small park. For the first time, he quietly asked himself, "Maybe everyone is right. Maybe I'm not meant to succeed." The thought felt heavy. It felt like a door closing on his dreams. At that moment, David noticed an old man sitting nearby, calmly feeding birds with small pieces of bread. The old man looked peaceful. After a few minutes, the old man looked at David and asked gently, "Why do you look like someone who has already given up on life?" David was surprised. He hesitated, but eventually spoke honestly. "I feel like I will never succeed," David said. "I work hard, but nothing changes. Maybe I'm just not good enough." The old man smiled softly. The old man picked up a small stone and placed it on the ground. "David," he said, "do you see this stone?" David nodded. "If I told you that inside this stone was a diamond, would you believe me?" David shook his head. "No," he said. The old man smiled again. "That is exactly how most people see themselves." He continued, "People only look at the outside. They do not see the hidden potential inside." Then he pointed to David's chest. "Victory begins there, inside you." David looked confused. The old man explained, "Before success appears in the world, it must first appear in your mind. If you believe you are defeated, you will stop trying. But if you believe you can grow, you will find a way." The words felt simple, but they struck David deeply. That night, David returned home and sat quietly in his small room. He thought about the old man's words, "Victory begins inside." For the first time, David realized something important. His biggest enemy was not his job. It was not his lack of money. It was the voice inside his mind that kept telling him he could not succeed. So David made a small but powerful decision. He decided to change his thinking. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," he started saying, "I will learn how." Instead of thinking, "My life will never change," he started thinking, "My life can improve if I keep trying." This was David's first victory. It was invisible to everyone else, but inside his mind, something had shifted. David started waking up earlier each morning. Before going to work, he spent time learning new skills. He read books about business. He watched educational videos. He studied successful people. At night, when others were resting, David continued learning. Progress was slow, very slow. There were many days when he felt tired, many days when he wondered if his effort mattered. But each time doubt appeared, he remembered the old man's words, "Victory begins inside." So he kept going. 1 year later, something unexpected happened. David noticed that many small shops in his town struggled to sell their products online. Most business owners did not understand the internet, but David had spent months learning digital marketing, so he decided to try something brave.
He offered to help a small shop owner promote their products online. The owner hesitated, but agreed. Within a few weeks, sales began to grow. The shop owner was amazed. Soon, other shop owners asked David for help. Slowly, David started building his own small marketing service. What began as a simple idea slowly turned into a real business.
Years later, David became known as a successful entrepreneur in his town. People admired his determination. Many young people asked him the same question: "What is the secret to your success?" David would always smile and give the same answer: "My victory did not begin when my business succeeded. It began the day I changed the way I thought." Then he would add, "The greatest battle in life is the battle inside your mind. Once you win that battle, the rest becomes possible." The message of David's story. David's story reminds us of something powerful. Most victories are invisible at first. They begin in moments when nobody is watching, when someone chooses courage over fear, when someone chooses hope over doubt, when someone chooses persistence over giving up. That is where real victory begins, inside the mind, inside the heart, inside the belief that something better is possible. And once that inner victory is achieved, the world eventually sees the result. The best lesson from the story of David. The greatest lesson from David's story is this: real victory begins inside your mind before it appears in your life. At the beginning of the story, David was not poor in ability. He was poor in belief. He allowed the negative voices around him and inside his own mind to convince him that success was impossible. Because of that, he almost gave up on his dreams. But everything changed the moment David realized one powerful truth. The biggest battle in life is not outside, it is inside. When he changed the way he thought, his entire life slowly began to change. Instead of saying, "I can't," he started saying, "I will learn." Instead of believing nothing will change, he believed progress is possible. This shift in mindset became the foundation of his success. From that moment on, David began taking small steps, learning new skills, improving himself, and refusing to quit even when progress was slow. Those small inner victories eventually created real-world success. The key lessons we can learn. Your mindset shapes your future. The way you think about yourself determines how far you will go. If you believe you cannot succeed, you will stop trying. But if you believe you can grow, you will keep moving forward. Change begins with your thoughts. Before your life changes, your thinking must change. Positive thinking does not mean ignoring problems. It means believing you can overcome them. Small steps create big results. David did not become successful overnight. He started with small daily actions that slowly built his future. Persistence is powerful. Many people quit when things become difficult. David succeeded because he kept going even when progress was slow. The final message. The most powerful lesson from David's story is simple but life-changing. If you want to change your life, start by changing your mindset. Because the moment you win the battle inside your mind, you are already on the path to victory. Here are some powerful quotes inspired by the story, "Victory Begins Inside." The most powerful quote. The greatest victory in life is not defeating others, but defeating the doubt within yourself. Other powerful quotes. The battle that decides your future is fought inside your mind. Before the world sees your success, your mind must believe in it. The moment you conquer your fears inside, victory outside becomes possible. A man who wins the battle within can never truly be defeated. Success begins the day you stop doubting yourself. Your greatest enemy is not the world outside, but the doubt within. The moment you believe in yourself, the path to victory begins. Every great success first begins as a small victory in the mind. Fear may speak loudly, but courage speaks louder when you listen to your heart. You do not need perfect conditions to win, you only need the courage to start. A strong mind can turn the smallest opportunity into a great victory. Do not wait for the world to believe in you, believe in yourself first. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory over doubt. The road to success is built with persistence, patience, and belief. The day you stop quitting is the day your victory truly begins.